green afternoon, and green evening. Wishing you all a wonderful day ahead, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, whatever parts of the world you are in different continents, in different time zones, in different countries. We extend you a very warm welcome, and it's a pleasure, it's a treat. Because since morning we had the first webinar at 9:30 a.m., then we had at 11:30, then we had at 3 p.m., and now this is the fourth program which is coming through. That's on Sunday. So Sundays are pretty busy, and it's something very, very captivating, engaging, and of course, scintillating as well. Sunday, 16th of May, 2021, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, as a part of our journey making education relevant. And every Sunday evening, we have got Indian diaspora, non-resident Indians for Indian education ecosystem empowerment. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are taking a very, very sensitive subject because at present, it has got lots of challenges, difficulties, problems, but well, we got to survive, we got to revive, and we got to thrive. All the things have to go together. So post-pandemic, how the hospitality industry is going to be, what's going to be the outlook, how the preparations are being done world over, how are we utilizing the present times, how will we handle clients, what are going to be the new norms in the hospitality industry, and then at the same time, how technology is going to play very important and a very pivotal role for all of us. So everything we are going to discuss this evening, and whatever we can pack in 1 hour, we'll try and do justice. We extend a very hearty welcome to our distinguished speaker of the morning, afternoon, and evening, because it's early morning in Canada, it's afternoon somewhere in Europe, it's evening right over here in India, and then my friends in ASEAN, including my president, who is watching this program from ASEAN, all of them, they are little ahead of us. Then going to all our other brothers and sisters, those are in Central. When I talk about Asia, they are a little behind. And then similar way, Middle East also, people, those are watching from Doha, Oman, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, all of them, and including Bahrain. Okay, so all the places when I talk about different time zones we all are in, and people those are in Australia and New Zealand, let them sleep, let them have a wonderful rest, because they must be tired after a long day. So ladies and gentlemen, a look into the future insight of hospitality post-COVID 19. Of course, difficulties, problem, challenges, all are there, but solutions are also there. When difficulties are there, you have got challenges, you have got new opportunities as well. We are going to meet this evening a dignitary, Vishal Malhotra, who is from the hospitality industry. I happen to know him since 1994, and he had been moving initially, I still recall he was in Ahmedabad way back in 1994. He moved to Bahrain. From Bahrain, he went to Dubai. From Dubai, he moved to Canada. And now he is happily over there, settled and taking care of his contribution to the hospitality warmth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, which is directly linked with the Indian diaspora. At present, we have got 31 million Indians abroad. And from time to time, we keep sharing a couple of things with all of you. During this pandemic, we have taken basically making education relevant the journey. And let me share with all of you how ICSI has been contributing since 1994 on different platforms, to the different ministries, to the different organizations, different corporate sector. So when you think about the services sector, 12 identified sectors with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, where we worked very hard, and we are proud of all those dignitaries who gave their valuable inputs to us. We understand during the lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is deeply affected, physical and mental health also has been affected, and the main part of the universe, that's almost about 1.65 billion children, are away from schools, colleges, universities, institutions, wherever they are also having a lot of challenges. but India always believes the whole world is one family. Aapka dukh hamara dukh, aapka sukh hamara sukh. Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. That means the global family, all of us together. Last year, on 29th of July, in the thick of the pandemic, after almost silence of 34 years, India got the new education policy 2020, and this is the beginning of the new era because that's going to be a game changer. Now there's a reskilling, skilling, upskilling, and vocationals are going to be integral part of the education. No co-curricular, extracurricular, nothing outside. Everything is the integral part. Happiness, fun, learning centric, all that is being taken holistic approach. On 1st of February, the budget was given by the Honorable Finance Minister of India. And when I look at pillar number 4, reinvigorating human capital, 9.5% increase in the budget. And here are the highlights, what all is being done in the human resources development, education sector, particularly in the skills development, competencies, capabilities. And if we have to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat, all of us together, stand up, start up, make in India, assemble in India, whatever you want to do. During this pandemic, last year, we also lost, very dear friend. And that's, I would say he was quite unwell. And we lost him. That's Sir Ken Robinson. And whenever we happen to meet either in Europe or in US, wherever it was, always something to learn from him. What is the purpose of education? Economic, social, cultural, personal, what all is going through. Dr. Sugata Mitra. He was earlier with the Massachusetts and from there to UK, from UK back to India, the product of IIT Delhi, spent a lot of time, and he has given a lot of vision onto the education ecosystem. Do children require all the time supervising, or do they, or should we leave them independent for some time? And his experiment, hole in the wall, has done wonders. You can see it on the YouTube. And that is the evolution in the learning environment, where 2 computers being fitted in the wall. Right on the top, you have got a camera that is recording, and no teacher around, nobody to guide around. Children hit and trial, permutation, combination at their own. And after 1 month, wonders are being seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, after the new education policy, the complete emphasis, education is now learning centric. Vocational education given a lot of emphasis. Training of teachers, training of principals, training of all the people those are in education ecosystem. Very, very important. Skills having more importance now than acquiring knowledge or getting information, because through a digital mode, you can get everything. Soft skills and life skills have become very important, particularly during pandemic and post-pandemic, whatever you want to call it. What stage we are in, nobody knows. Future is very, very unpredictable. And post-pandemic world, how it would be, and which will be the 5 core competencies: adaptability, creativity, critical thinking, resilience, and self-management. Youth empowerment is important, but more important is teachers empowerment and self-employment and becoming an entrepreneur. Very, very important. Startups coming in a very big way. Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise giving a lot of inputs. And the Honorable Finance Minister announced the package. And if you recall, and if you recollect, in the month of May last year, and when she was calling, we were feeling very happy. But for 3 years, our chamber had been moving in the corridors of the Ministry of MSME, and we submitted a lot of action plans, strategies, roadmap, blueprints, whatsoever you can think on this planet. We have been giving them that services sector to be brought at par with the manufacturing sector. And we are extremely happy that on 13th of May, when she announced, she told here onward, the services sector is at par now with the manufacturing sector. Great day. Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship is doing a great job. Different sector skill councils having lots of programs being offered. We did 1 month long series last year with Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhriyal, the CEO of the Management and Entrepreneurship and Professional Skill Council. We were with and we are with Mr. Mohit Soni. We have done almost about a 1 month long series. And this morning also, we had a very big program for the state of Punjab in India, where basically we are emphasizing cinematic tourism, futuristic tourism, and media entertainment industry based tourism. That was discussed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, post pandemic, a lot of challenges would be there because mental health, physical wellness, your spiritual wellness, your environmental wellness, and people will have a lot of apprehensions and a couple of things. So with the Sector Skill Council on the wellness, we have done a couple of programs, and now government has taken initiative, the central government, Government of India, that there is a National Council for Vocational Education and Training, which is a combination of the National Skill Development Agency and National Council for Vocational Training. And Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, he who dedicated his entire life, I would call it, to reform, to empower, to enrich, to reshape, to repackage, any term you can use for that. And that is for education, vocational education, technical education, skill-based education, competency-based education. And be happy and peaceful if you really want to make a difference as an educator. Here are some tips for you. You can read it because this program is going live. You can see it on the YouTube later. How technology is transforming the education. You all must have felt right from 25th of March last year. We are very proud that since 1994, we brought India's first finishing school for service industry, taking care of tourism, hospitality, airlines, events management, events planning, events marketing, retail, logistic, and of course, communication, whatsoever has to be done, whether it's for the sales or marketing or PR or image management, also the word which we have been using. Niti Aayog doing a great job in India, what was earlier known as Planning Commission, because a lot of people are joining us from abroad. So that's why I'm talking in English language, but I'll switch over to Hindi after some time. Now, Atal Tinkering Lab and Incubation Center, when we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, very important, which we all have to understand, this is by the Niti Aayog, but at the same time in schools, colleges, universities, institutions, ITIs, polytechnics, wherever they require, we are giving the support by setting up finishing labs for the soft skills and the life skills. And vocational teacher training is very, very important. And how basically we have been grooming, we are grooming, we will be grooming our teachers, trainers, master trainers. Proud to share with all of you that when I moved on deputation from the Indian Army to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India on deputation, and the setting up of IITTM, Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management. And along with that, with my team, we drafted the whole MBA tourism. And in 1990, I had been moving from university to university, different places, and we introduced MBA tourism in India. And at the same time, I still recall there used to be a diploma in hotel management, which we got converted into a degree program. At the same time, coming from the armed forces background, I still call Lieutenant General K.M. Seth. 4 rooms were given because I was from the regular army background on deputation. And that is the time General Seth Saab was very, very dynamic and a very creative and a very pushy and a very innovative person. And he gave us the 4 rooms in Bangalore in the ASC Center, where from the Hotel Management Institute started. And now today it's a full-fledged in Bangalore, Army Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology. With the DGR, Director General Resettlement, a lot of short-term training programs for the retiring defense officers, couple of programs. And then to the UGC, through the university, we gave India lots of vocational courses, that is at the bachelor and the master degree programs, all related to services sector. So ladies and gentlemen, youth are very important. Holistic education is very important. And children, you all have got power within you. Shiksha, Kaushalta, or Udmita. Education is incomplete without skills, and education and skills are incomplete without the right opening, whether entrepreneurship or employment. Our chamber has dedicated year 2020-21 for teachers and youth empowerment and working towards self-reliant India. 12 hours beaming. We started this morning at 9:30, and that's the way we have come. 28 programs per week. And tomorrow morning, there is a very, very special program, the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, on the occasion of Adi Shankaracharya Jayanti. Professor Satyendra Dhiman from the Woodbury University, Burbank, and Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan, Professor of Marketing, Lamar University, tomorrow morning, Indian Standard Time, 9 a.m. They will be with us. And tomorrow at 11 o'clock, a wonderful speaker, wonderful motivator, this youngster, he is going to be with us, Mayank Solanki, and he will be joining us from Bangalore. And I'm sure every teacher, every student, every person will enjoy. And then tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., there is going to be a special program coming with Arumugamji, and he is earlier he was with the Scenic Schools, and he is going to talk about, there was a movie of Akshay Kumar, if you talk about Padman, so the women empowerment, rural marketing with a special reference to personal hygiene. So he will be talking about the complete details of that, our brother South Indian who started the Padman work. And our chamber has done the complete research, basic food, basic health, basic education is very important, and B2B is no more business to business, it is back to basics. So whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's get together. Let's make education relevant. It's a global confluence of educators, inspirational speakers, motivators, technocrats, counselors, wellness experts, corporate, government administrators, and decision makers. Should you wish to come with us on a panel, you can write an email, you can send a WhatsApp to us. It would be a pleasure. Now, the key points for discussion, some we have listed, but Vishalji total is at liberty to take on the way he wish. What are the new hospitality skills? How technology has been supporting hospitality industry post COVID-19? What is going to be the new normal, food technology, changes in food production, etc.? And what are the new marketing strategy adopted by the hotel industry? And what are the changes in structural and functional processes of the hotel industry? In totality, we would like to talk about present trends and future trends. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome this evening, as far as India is concerned, and this morning, as far as Canada is concerned, Mr. Vishal Malhotra joining us all the way. And it's a pleasure, Vishalji, that you joined us at the 27th Punjabi Parvasi Divas also on 13th of January this year. That's a Wednesday, when we had 12 hours celebration, our annual convention of Punjabis all the way. So you have got lots of Punjabis in Canada with you. So world over, to people, those are joining us. Today we are going to talk about hospitality industry. Floor is yours. Take on whatsoever you wish to share. Your journey, Ahmedabad, Bahrain, Dubai, Canada, your present work. How are you finding Canada? And how the things are in Canada, how hospitality industry is going on in Canada, how do you see in future everything? So warm welcome, pleasure to have you with us this morning from Canada and this evening in India. Warm welcome, pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. It's such a pleasure and honor. I'm seeing you after such a long time, and it's. I remember our old days back, in 1994, since we met, and as we were growing up as kids and pursuing our careers forward, you had a significant role in guiding us towards where we are today. So thank you, and thank you to ICSI as well to giving an opportunity this morning from Canada here to be part of the panel and discussing that. And to your question, you showed a beautiful slides and a lot of things that I could really talk to about that, because that impacts every one of us, irrespective what industry we're in or irrespective of what we're doing at this moment of time. So last 2 years have, in my opinion, changed the world. We never thought that what we're experiencing now we will ever experience. What we did see was at some of the specialists and some of the researchers, we knew about the Spanish flu which happened 100 years back. But that is all what we knew about it, and photographs are the one to justify. But none of us were there to experience it at this time. Now we're going back to that history and seeing that what happened in Spanish flu at that time in that era, and now comparing it with COVID in different dynamics altogether. But what I do want to share is that what we all are going through is with everyone, and I like to say that this will get over. We will get past, right? We are in the right direction to move on. But Canada, Canada is beautiful. It's a nice sunny day outside today after a long time. So I would say that I'll take that. Weather is a big part in this part of the world altogether. We don't have luxuries of always having summer, always good weather like we have in India. We say it's too hot. I say, bring it here. It's totally fine. So no complaints, call it like that. And about my journey as well, just as an introduction, I'm a pass out of Institute for Hotel Management, Catering and Technology for IHM Ahmedabad in Gujarat. So from there, I moved as a campus. I got recruited to move to Bahrain, and then from Bahrain, I moved to Dubai as a career growth. And then finally, we thought about moving to either Canada at that time, UK or Australia, and finally we landed on Canada. And I'm here since 2006. January the 27th, to be more precise. So that's where I am. And since I passed out from the college, I have only done one thing, and that is work in hospitality. I have not at all, apart from a few struggling days in Canada initially when you all come, any newcomer would do, but professionally, it's always has been in hospitality industry.
Wonderful, wonderful. How the hospitality industry is facing the challenge right at this point of time? What do you experience? I would say, is Canada a little bit opening up? Is there a I would say some kind of a traffic movement or hospitality, or is it a preparatory stage for the future unknown? And I'm going to say, as I mentioned, we got to survive, we got to revive, and we got to thrive. All the three things are there.
Yeah, you're so right on that. And I would tell you, Canada is at this time no different than any other part of the world.
Okay.
We have been impacted in this industry very heavy, and unfortunately, many hotels have closed during this process. For good. Many restaurants have closed, which you do not see, especially small restaurants. This was something that we didn't expect at all, like we said earlier, right? But Canada is there, and if you look at Canada geographically and the way it is that we have the world's longest, I would say, that the border is between Canada and the United States of America. And Canada do depend on America in tourism sector for a long time, for many different ways. Like, for example, when we look at some data point, depending on where you are in Canada, you could be having anything right from 40% to 60% of US Americans coming into as part of the Canadian hospitality demographics here in terms of tourism here. So when the border is being closed, and if you be reading the news and following the news, I like to tell the audience that this is the first time ever happened that it's over 1 year that the US-Canada border is closed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's over 1 year. And I think, if I'm not going wrong, I think it will happen in last March or early April when the border was closed, and it's not open. And the border is the border is only open for essential travel, and essential is very categorically classified in terms of the food which has to be transported, important food side, medical supplies, only the essential travel. So if you want to go and meet your family and friends, you basically can't. You can't go, at least by road, and air restrictions are also there as well. So when US border is closed, that was the big impact. That itself, Canadian economy does impact. However, Canada had to do what they had to do in their own interest to control the situation where we are for the COVID, so that it doesn't increase. But this hospitality industry that we saw had, what we saw pre-pandemic and now during pandemic, and it's completely different. There is no survival is a big thing. I get that, but survival in customer service, is another thing when I say that. And then a lot of things came during this last 1 year in terms of innovation, especially the use of technology, and which we are using the platform today as well to connect. That came as well. And when you look at those platforms coming in today, there was that changed the mindset of many people around in the industry and other industries as well. That, oh, work from home can happen. When I say the impact of people who are not directly servicing the customers. You have to open a hotel, you have to have a front office, you have to have people checking in. But if the people behind the scenes can work from home for certain days, you can work from home. And that is because, and why we said that is because of the use of technology, because technology got us very close to each other, like we're watching on the video right now. So in our world, what it in fact it was that everybody was very happy about that. We call it as the virtual meetings. So that impacted the industry in the sense that a lot of companies, associations, unions, corporates started thinking about that. Oh, we can have our meetings online now, virtually, and so we don't have to spend so much to go to the hotel, travel, airfare, get to a place and have a big convention when we can actually do online. And that's when the platform like Zoom and Microsoft Teams and other platforms started really coming up. And I wish I could buy a stock from them that time, and I would have been pretty good today. but to say that is that was initially 1.5 year back. But today, when we go through that, Dr. Sharma, is when we look back, it is our industry, whoever is associated with the hospitality. Let me tell you this, and I think they'll all will agree with me that you do need a human touch. We are not robots, and especially for a consumer who's coming in, do want to speak to somebody, and so I think that's never going to die down. I think that's never going to be replaced, in terms of our industry. It has changed temporarily at this time, to accommodate, but that will always be there. So fast forwarding to that, where people 1.5 year back thought, oh, virtual was the best way to go. Now we're talking about hybrids. That hybrids, the word hybrid has come back in terms of our meeting and events, in terms of, with that use of technology, the food delivery service industry has really boomed up, because they're connecting. You're getting from, instead of you going and get, oh, let me go out for an outing or drive and get something as well. Those things, okay, no, you stay home. We have people delivering it to you. So many businesses boomed during this time, and many businesses did not, and we're struggling to get back. But the way we see at this time is that I think this is a temporary phrase, but this pandemic will teach and is teaching us a lot at this time. And a human mind is always innovative. We're always creating new stuff. But I think this industry is to stay. Hospitality, people will be back. It will be a slow growth in terms of what I think, my personal opinion about that. But we will be back shaking hands one day again.
Okay. Now, Vishalji, let me take the entire ecosystem together, and then we can take thread by thread. Now, hospitality is not in isolation, because hospitality is directly interlinked with the tourism industry, and it is also linked with the aviation industry.
Yeah.
It's also linked with the shopping, retail malls, couple of other things, event industry, and then your cruises, then your couple of other things, when you talk about. So the entire ecosystem is having an impact, and particularly because, I dream tourism, I think tourism, I sleep tourism, I get up tourism, like you are into the hospitality. I've spent my entire life. When we met in 1994, I still recall, you saw me, right? I was drenched into the tourism, and today also, the same fragrance will come from my screen to you, like your fragrance will come to me of the hospitality. Mine will come for the tourism. So I wish to just understand, because it has given shaken up in the entire system. I'll tell you. Let's take education ecosystem. What you were teaching earlier is not required now. The syllabi has to be revamped, repackaged. Curriculum has to be totally changed. Post-pandemic, what the scenario would be, the chapters, what you were teaching earlier. Now, if everything is going to be technology-based, what kind of technology, how much technology, what role it's going to be playing? Skills are also going to be repacked. And nobody knows, today everybody is hitting in the darkness. Nobody knows how long the second wave will go on, which is going on now, whether there is a third wave, and whether world will get back to soon normal. Of course, new normal. It will not be
Mhm.
the same normal what it was earlier. Then comes business being impacted, economy being impacted, and finally, the most important is when you used a very nice term that in hospitality, human touch is very important. You ask a customer 3 times, 4 times, I hope you're enjoying your food. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're happy. See you again. Do come, do visit us again, and all that. Now, over here, the psycho, the analysis also to be taken into consideration, because when the person will walk into the hotel, they would say, before me who stayed in this room, whether it has been cleaned up properly or not, whether they have changed my linen, everything and all that, which way have they used, what material have they used, whether my room has been disinfected or not, what gadgets do I use, how do I avoid more and more human touch, and everything
Mhm.
is should be done with the gadgets. I do my check-in with the gadget, I check out with the gadget, I do my payment with the gadget, the QR code should come to me and all. I mean, so much is going to be there. How nobody is going to go for the buffet early in the morning, long queues, and you're having, okay, boil my egg, I would like to have some fresh fruits and all that, enjoying, giggling, laughing. All that is going to go away for some time at least.
Mhm.
People would not like to meet unknown people without knowing their physical background, their medical background, and a couple of other things you will take into consideration. And also, some of the hospitality establishments presently are being used to look after the corona patient, and they are parked over there because you don't have that much medical units. So what would happen in the psychographic analysis? Because the person may feel, yeah, where I'm staying in the room, I hope no patient stayed here earlier. I hope there was no case. So, how do
Mhm.
you look at the entire concept?
Very well said, Dr. Sharma. Very well said. I think you captured everything in your statement here. I think it's the mindset of the people and the commitment of the people to each other. That's the first thing I say that. If I'm not doing my part and I'm expecting to receive, the uh, like spotless rooms or the spotless, the COVID-free environment, but I'm not contributing that part, I think there's a gap. We're expecting something, but we're not. We expect something, but we're not contributing to that. No, we can't say that in the world that pandemic. That this part of the community or this part of the world is not in pandemic. It's a pandemic. Pandemic means it's a world crisis. It's not. And that's what it means. So we all are in it, and we all have to play our part in this pandemic to get over this pandemic. So similarly, this thought process, when I say that, is brings back to this the consumer behavior and the consumer expectations. I think as long as we have, as and previously, if you go back pre-pandemic, there was a huge gap between consumer expectations versus the consumer behavior, and all our training and skill setup was all about bridging that gap as much as possible, that as much we can do in terms of trainings. But today, it's the same thing. If I am washing my hands for 20 seconds, I should be. If I'm doing the hand sanitizer for like 20 times a day, I should be. And that's what a customer will expect when they come to the hotel or to the restaurant or to go to the shopping mall or to go anywhere at that time. We call them high touch areas, whether it's the doorknobs or the remote or the TVs, which we do it. Are we doing it at home? Are we making it as a habit? And I always ask this question that if we are doing it at home, that is already a new normal for us, right? And that is already, so there's no training required in it, because we have been educated enough by the researchers around the world that how COVID has been transmitted and how COVID goes and what you need to do to prevent yourself from this time. And as long as we all individual are responsible for doing our own part, I think this pandemic will be behind us very soon. But there's a gap. Not everybody is doing what they should be doing, and we can see that, and we can we people who are doing it feel frustrated that people who are not doing it, and people who are not doing it, they think, oh, this is just one of the another flus, it'll get over, so why bother about it? And that's what we need to change the mindset and the gap for that. And especially when we say the mobile check-ins have come in the hotel. Now mobile check-ins have come in the hotel, they didn't come today because of the pandemic. They came much earlier, before, when technology was advancing. Now they're being used more, or contactless payments are being used more because we have that facility. They were not invented for that, but now we're using it more. But I say that the entire tourism side, it doesn't matter which tourism aspect we pick up, it starts from us, all of us, because either we are a consumer who are using that service, or we are a provider who's providing that service. They're one of the two. There's no third person in between. There's no watching. Whether you're booking an online ticket airline or you're doing something, you are doing you fall in one bracket or the another, right? And I would say that, and there's no. I think what is important here is the confidence level. There is no marketing statements here, about that. Oh, we are the best COVID-free hotel, or the airlines, or the cruise. No, that's not what they're doing. I think the companies are coming back and reaching out is educating people that how they are, dealing with this crisis in terms of cleanliness, in terms of disinfectant, and trying to give consumer a confidence that yes, we are doing the right things for you. And I think that's what matters the most, is that the consumer who, if I'm the one providing it, I would expect the same thing to, oh, is this clean or not? Is the COVID patients were there? But if they were there, okay, time of the need, what have the establishment done to, so that when I should feel secure and safe? I think it's more about, rather than I should say, it's more about trainings. It's about educating. I just want to use a different term here. We are right now educating the world to what we are doing the best to deal with the pandemic. We are not training the world how to do that. When we educate them, they learn more and people understand more. I can tell you, Dr. Sharma, come to my hotel. This is the best hotel you can order. I can say that's a marketing statement. I'm making a statement. But if I tell you that we are doing A, B, C, and D, and we have documented everything, that this is our process and protocol, you as a consumer would feel much more confident about coming in here. Whether you choose to come or not, it's a different thing altogether. But that confidence level will come more. And I think I want to circle back to say that it's very important that we, irrespective of who we are, whether we're a consumer or we're a provider, we need to do our part in this time today.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, let's take it another perspective, very important over here, practical part. During this pandemic and post-pandemic, during pandemic, hotels have to refurbish, reorient, repackage, redesign. Infrastructure has to be readjusted. Might be in the restaurants, the space between two customers, how they are going to sit, which way they are going to be. Let's take it right from the front office to the room. You may not appreciate somebody taking your luggage and walking right up to the room. You carry your own stuff. You open the room at your own. You get in over there and you lock yourself, and then you place an order, food being kept outside your room. And then thereafter, whatever hygiene part you would like to do psychographically, you have to do it. Then coming the banquets, particularly the events which takes place, the marriages, the conferences, the conventions, the trade fair, the expos. Maximum money hotels make basically from the banquets. Now banquets, once again, you got to re-look at the whole thing, how it has to be packaged. Because to be very frank, nobody knows today whether next wave is coming, whether this virus is getting muted, or whether a multiplier viruses are coming, or what exactly is going to be the scenario. Nobody knows about it. To be very frank, we all are talking about it, but nobody knows about it. And how long it will be there, that is also not known. So do you feel that at present, because you are deeply involved with the hospitality industry, that are the establishments or are the hospitality units at present reorienting, repackaging, refurbishing everything? Is something of that kind going on?
Completely, totally. If we don't do that, we will never survive.
Okay.
We will never do that. But at the same time, you come up with an idea of you start thinking creatively that how can you do that in the best possible manner. I can tell you there are a couple of huge differences between hospitality in India when I grew up all the time, and versus the North American side of it. I can say when it comes to luxury, the luxury that we offer, it's there in India, right? And I can say that. But here it's very corporate business. There is luxury, but we really can compare. And then come the Middle East part of it. They take the luxury to a totally different level altogether, because they They know that what the luxuries, and everything has been impacted because of that. And one of the big differences, I am to the point, is that why these two part of the world are very different is because in India, when you do a P&L statement and you accounting and you look at your numbers and data of where you're spending revenue versus expenses, your labor cost is not very high. For some reasons, you have abundance of people available to do the job, and in terms of the labor cost towards the revenue that they bring, it's a ratio. It's very opposite here in North America. Your biggest expense in your P&L is your labor cost, right? So if you can control your labor cost, you control everything. You make more profit, right? It's not that your revenues are there, but labor cost is one, and that is what differentiates these two part very well. If I can employ in India, I can employ 4 people opening the door, to one person on each side opening the door, and welcoming you with a bow, welcome, and then I've got 3 people with the luggage carts ready for you to take your luggage up in the good days. I'm talking about, taking it up, and so you as a customer who walks in says, wow, that's great, and everybody's giving me a smile and I'm good. But here, even pre-pandemic, you don't do that. You won't find anybody opening the door. There might be an automatic door opening with the sensors and opening it for you, right? You won't have anybody or one person holding the luggage cart. You might have 1 or 2, or you just have you do it yourself here, as a consumer. And I'm looking at the cost basis, but now the things have changed. Who expected that we will check in with somebody where there's the glass, they're standing behind the glass like a banks. Now the banks used to be like that for safety and security, but now we do it at hospitality for COVID protection. The important for us here is that if our associates are healthy, and they're not impacted, that is one thing that transforms into our guests. So I always say that, the corporates need, if your success rate lies on how many people are impacted with COVID at your workplace. Now, it can come from outside as well, but you need to do your part to keep your employees healthy. And when that happens, you will see that the guest feels confident, and because it's a practice. So that changed. When we come to the front office, when we go to the banquet size, we used to have a ballroom, or people have, let's say, capacity of 500 people or 800 people ballroom. We can't have them more than 200 people in 800 capacity anymore, because it has to be social distances. Now, the laws and the rules are different in parts of the world. You can't even have a buffet here today. It's not allowed by the government because they're high touch point. Everything has to be pre-plated and served. You can't even go to a coffee station and pour your own coffee. Because now, understand what I'm trying to say here is that whatever I'm speaking, the changes is there's always a person, and the labor cost goes high in this part of the world, because I'm employing, where I was not employing people, now I'm employing more people. Where my chef used to do buffet and my food cost was down, now I have to do individual portion and my cost is up. But revenues are not there, right? But that's okay. That is okay, because it's not about profit. It's about catering to the confidence of the consumer. So that has changed in our world a lot. We used to, we have menus now, which looks about, how that pandemic menus, call it like that, right? Which really can be packaged, can be cooked, and can be transported easily with the minimum contact as possible. We would never expect that you would never expect to receive a food in a plastic vacuum sealed container, covering for that matter, because which can be only opened by you. You would never like it pre-pandemic, but today you would expect that. You won't like it today if you get it another way. If you don't get it like that, you won't feel confident. A lot of change in that. But I think I still feel, Dr. Sharma, that this is a phase. I don't think that this is going to stay that for long. I don't have a definition of long post-pandemic. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, doesn't matter what time, but it's going to be long. And I think at some point of time, the consumers, once the herd immunity comes across the world, when we know that the things, this is another cold flu that, like we hear from the news. I was listening to news that Pfizer wants to make it a tablet for the COVID at one time, 4 years from now. Right. So what they're trying to say is this is another cold and night flu, right? like we had polio in India. Polio is eradicated, right? So that was a big thing. Ebola was one thing around the world, that's gone. So they're taking the researchers are taking this 4, 5, 6 years from now, and when that happens, very unfortunately, our human memories are very short in terms of acts. We remember history, we remember everything, but it comes to acts, we will forget how we were wearing masks. We'll just go again and hug each other. But that time has yet to come, you know. But till that time, we need to do our part, as we say.
Oh,
So,
very well packaged, very well packaged. Now I'm going to take the last question with you, something next to my heart, and you be kind to help me out for that. You had been in Bahrain, you had been in Dubai, you had been in Canada now,
yeah,
and 27 January 2006, I think you mentioned. Okay,
July.
July. Okay,
Yeah.
27 July. Okay, it's coming shortly. Okay, right. So now over here, this is a very important point. Let's re-look at it. In India, two people opening doors and four people carrying luggage and everything. Because when you have more manpower, there are three kind of people: skilled, semi-skilled, partially skilled, upskilled, professionally skilled, and disguised labor also, like it happens in agriculture sector, that where on a particular area 10 people to be employed, you're putting 20 over there because the cost is less. Now over there you have to have less people because it is better to engage, because taking the total size of the country or the population of the country, irrespective any country. Now India has got a huge population, so our challenge is quality and quantity. Both have to be taken into consideration. We have to upskill quantity also, and we need quality also, so that the children are acceptable world over. Now
Mhm.
I'm coming to last question. There are two kind of students and there are two kind of kids. One is a serious kids and one are a kids like me. Those are poor at studies, but they just want to go overseas and they say, let me take admission over there and I will do more part-time job, get some pocket money and ultimately get the PR and settle down over there and all. During pandemic, the second category, my category children must be having lots of challenges, because when the locals are not getting a part-time job and things are down, economy is down, multiplier is not taking place, demand is not there, how the supply can be increased? So there must be a first challenge for those students. Secondly, some of the students go for the green pastures. They think everything is going to be so beautiful, and the president of America would be waiting with his grown-up daughter. My potential son-in-law, you have come. Please come and get down from the aircraft, and you've got a hearty welcome. Pleasure to have you with us. And now please take over the country and take over my daughter and settle down. And after 1 week, you see him, he is filling the gas at the gas station. And the poor chap is having a lot of difficulties because all the dreams got shattered. They were not ready to work here, but they're ready to work there. Now, coming to this situation, some of the children paid the money and that money was locked because the universities had already taken their admission. University has kept a seat. It is beyond them. They can't do anything about it because students are unable to reach, flights are not taking off, children can't go, parents are very apprehensive. They are worried whether because of safety reasons, security reasons, should we send our children or not, right? So how do you look at that scenario also? Because still some of the fools are pressurizing their parents, let me go abroad, let me just move on, then what, the pandemic will get over, I will find the place, I will find space. How do you look at this particular scenario? Because it's very sensitive, and कहते हैं ना, एक अंदर से आवाज आती है, right from the inside you get the voice. And at least we should do justice. No children should force their parents ki send us overseas overnight, they are going to do wonders and all. Ultimately your vision and your aim is to settle abroad, fine. But if you are good at your job, if you have got adequate, desirable, optimum skills, you can find the work anywhere in the world, because there are a lot of economies world over where population is aging and they would require younger population from India, which is professionally skilled. How do you look at this scenario?
Dr. Sharma, great question. And allow me time to address that, because this is not a one straight answer in this question. I wish it was that easy and done. Well, it is yes and no, but let me explain that.
Yeah.
So so keep patience here when I'm explaining this. You're right. There's a lot of there. You captured it very well. That there are two kind of people. One is skilled and one non-skilled. Let's take that two broad categories, and the cost and the labor factor here. Uh, and then let's take the students that are at that time, currently in India, and they are pressuring their parents to come here. Let's address that first. I want to know first and foremost from those students as well as that why and what makes them say that they want to come here, and why is there's a pressure to the parents. And when I say that is, if they're answering without the basis, for example, because the life is good there, because it's like if they're watching a movie and they're saying, I want to be a Shah Rukh Khan, right? And they say, this is so beautiful out there, right? If they're watching something, so remember you're watching it from a distance, right? Forget Canada or forget North America, forget Europe. Even if you're in Delhi and you don't know about Bangalore, right? You go from India's big country. You go from one city, you go from Delhi, you go to Chennai. You go from Calcutta, you go to Bombay, right? Move places. And the amount of time that will take you to settle down or to find a new job, a new thing, is something similar what will happen in any other part of the world, right? So why abroad? And if the desire comes from the feel good factor, and I would say that I have also seen and met many people here that they are sitting on piles of cash. They don't care. They have money and they say, I will call it, I'm just making a number, 50 lakhs to my kid to go and spend there as much as they want till time he or she settles, right? So everybody's scenario is very different. But if you have been this part of the world, or or you're focused. Now I'm coming to from a non-focused, that is a desire. I address that. Now there's a focus. You say, okay, there's a demand in my skill. I know I'll take time to go there, but this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to do. And I've researched, or I've been there before, or I've met people who've done before, and this is a reality of life. So then your conversation changes. So this place, as we say, is a struggle place, like any other. I'm not saying Canada is a non-struggle. It's a struggle like any other part when you leave your home. Like you go to either Bangalore or you go to Canada. It doesn't matter. It's a struggle. And whether it's a skill or a non-skill, anybody successful, it all starts from the attitude and the mindset. And if you don't have that attitude and the mindset, if you don't have skills, you can learn. But if you have skills and you don't have an attitude, your skills are useless. Doesn't matter, right? And what happens is there's a zero tolerance when it comes to our industry, tourism and hospitality, when it comes to the attitude. We, for the most part, broadly speaking, we don't hire people for the skills. We want them to have it, but we hire them for the attitude, for what they bring. I can teach you a job how to be done if you don't know how to do it, but you should be willing to learn. So that what applies here in Canada as well. And even in pandemic, what happens is when people come from India, the students are coming here, they see a luxury of life there. And people who got money, luxury of life, and they see, this is going to be better here. It's going to be no different. And you have to be struggling on your own here. And so I've been here since 2006, and in my little experience that I have here, and I like to give you a small little story to make you understand this question. Is when I came here, I had to do a job. I used to do selling alarms from door to door because I didn't get a job in my industry. So I changed my job, and I was in a call center. I changed my job. I was here because I was trying to make money to get bread on the table. Finally, I got my job and I was there. I was very excited about it. And they gave me, so I was waiting for my first paycheck came. And when I got my paycheck, you get a pay slip. And I saw the pay slip. So I was looking, so let's call it, for example, Dr. Sharma, for example, $1,000 is your salary for a paycheck. And you get paid every 2 weeks here rather than every month like in India. So unlike there. So you have $1,000 and you think, okay, tax is this much, this is this much. And you calculate what it is and you think, okay, I should get around, call it like $600 in my bank, taken away. But when the paycheck comes, you don't get that 600, you basically get 250. And you're thinking, what happened here? Your head spins. As an example, it's much more deductions because there's a deduction on employment insurance, there's a deduction on Canadian pension plan, so and so call it forth. So the cash in hand you get is less. And I used to wonder and think about it. I said, I don't know if I can survive here. But okay, this is a new part. It's a start. Let me go ahead of that. So later on, then after 1 year or 2 years, I moved my job. I got a better salary. I think I was doing better. But then I realized I was trying to find a question and said, why? How can people survive here? Why people live here? Because the life was tough. You would walk because you don't want to spend $2 in a bus as a ticket, because that $2 were important for you when you don't have a backup of big cash lying at home, right? Why are you doing that? And I could never understand that. And then after, I remember 2.5, 3 years, I talked to myself. I said, I'm not thinking in the right direction. Because if I'm thinking correctly, then nobody should be living in this place. There should no be line up for visas, in the embassies. There should be no struggle of people coming here. People should, because I'm not the first guy on this earth. There are many more people before me. And I say, I'm not thinking correctly. So I changed my thought process. And I said, let me find out that why people are here. Rather than people that why people are still surviving. So in the short span of time, I figured it out, and this is my personal theory completely. Doesn't mean may apply, may not apply. Your first 3 years in Canada, doesn't matter you have a job, you don't have a job, irrespective of how skilled or not skilled you are, it's a struggle. Do you have that much of patience to sustain 3 years? I'm not talking 3 months, 3 years. That's what I figured out. Your 3 years to 10 years, the next 7 years, now struggle is over, you're trying to get settled. Even when you do 10 years, you do not feel settled. And 10 years onwards to the next 15 years, another 5 years, you start having a feel of, okay, I'm settled now. But that does not mean you have a good bank balance. It's the feeling of settlement because there are other factors contributing to the kids or the schooling or the environment or the way you are used to. And so I found my answers there, after walking through that path. But the kids who are pressurizing and the things that every country it's not about Toronto, Canada, every country. If you are pressurizing your families, I would say, and if you're in Chandigarh or if you're in Delhi, go to Bangalore, go at least somewhere where you don't have to think twice coming in. Go away. Look at the map and say, I need to go 1,500 kilometers away from my home and go and start your life there. And if you can do that, you can do it here. There's no different.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Rightly said and rightly packed. The first 3 years struggle, next 7 years settled, and thereafter you move up in the ladder. Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful.
Next 7 years is a feeling of settlement. You're not settled. Okay. It's a feeling of settlement. You're trying to it. The struggle is over, I would say. Struggle is over. So you will never feel settled. It is I learned that one, and I always say that, Dr. Sharma, that that if you're coming here, be prepared to do everything. And I tell you that, of course, I have kids here now. Everybody's here, the family's here. But let me explain to you the big difference. And you've traveled the whole world, Dr. Sharma. You know what I'm talking. That in India, if you don't get maid in your house for one day, your mom will freak out, right? Here, you don't have maids. You do it yourself. So I am now technically skilled in my own way, no certification. I'm a plumber, I'm a gardener, I'm an electrician, and I can do a handyman, I can build stuff. I can do myself because I learned it. Myself, because that's what it is here. But it is fun. It is good. Yeah. This country is great, like any other part of the world. It's not about the country. It's about you and your attitude towards that place.
It is survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest, that's something. Yeah. Great. I have given you the complete canvas. I have gone little up over there in a small posture because I wanted to see the big size screen of yours, because when you joined over here with us, it was in fact a treat and a pleasure to have you on our annual, the Punjabi Parvasi Divas, when
Thank you.
you joined us on 13th of January 2021. And today, once again, you addressed about the wonderful inputs of hospitality industry. I came with the let's survive, revive, and thrive. And you gave me the input catering to the confidence of consumer, and from there, with minimum context, how do we deliver the best? And skills are not that important, that can be imparted to anybody. It's a question of your attitude and mindset. And then, of course, first 3 years is the struggle, and next 7 years a feeling of settlement, and then you move up in the ladder.
Then
That
you move
is
up.
the way.
But your first three is our very, very, very important. I would
Great,
say that.
great, lovely, lovely. Such indeed great pleasure to have you with us this morning from Canada.
Thank you.
We will keep working on to it, and we will keep taking stock of the situation, how the hospitality industry, tourism industry, aviation industry, and related industries are moving back to the normal, new normal, or whatever you would like to call it. And it's a treat to ears, soul, and spirit, because I met you after 1994,
Yes.
today, and it's such a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Stay
Thank you.
blessed, and regards to your family.
I
And
will.
may God bless all of you, and do well in life. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your brother. You both complete the entire industry. He is specializing in tourism. You are
Yes, we do.
specializing in hospitality. So I want to say that's a great gesture. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you, Dr.
coming,
Sharma.
and thanks for